There is a retired welder in Tucson who receives $1,400 a month from Social Security. In 2019, the rent on his one-bedroom apartment climbed to $950, and the math simply stopped working. So at 67 years old, he moved into a 2004 Ford Econoline van, and within 4 months, he had his entire cost of living down to $280 a month, while staying clean, fed, warm, and legal. He got there by learning the 10 money rules that people who were forced into vehicle living trade with each other in parking lots and gym locker rooms. Tonight, you get all 10 of those rules, plus the 5 mistakes that drain a beginner's savings faster than rent ever did, including one mistake that feels completely responsible, even smart, but quietly costs more than the van itself. Maybe your own rent math is starting to look like his did. Maybe you are planning to travel on a pension and want the real numbers, the ones that never show up in the glossy van tour videos. Whatever brought you here, understand where this knowledge comes from. Some of the people who worked it out were homeless with no other option. Others watched retirement math collapse and chose the van before the van chose them. Either way, what they learned was tested against real hunger and real cold, and it works. So let's start with the number itself, because it is not what you think. Number 1, know where the rent goes when it disappears. Beginners assume that once rent is gone, they are basically living free. The veterans know better. Rent does not vanish. It shatters into small pieces that scatter across your whole life, and if you do not track the pieces, they quietly grow back into a rent-sized bill. The Tucson welder kept his budget written in pencil inside a spiral notebook on the dashboard. Fuel, $60. Vehicle insurance, $55. Food, $140. Phone, $25. Gym membership, $10. Laundry and small supplies, about $25. That is roughly $315 in a bad month and $280 in a good one. Every experienced vehicle dweller can recite their number the way a homeowner recites their mortgage, because the number is the whole game. When one category creeps up, they see it inside a week and correct it. The people who fail never had a number at all. They just felt rich for a month and then wondered where $600 went. But a budget only works if the basics are handled, and the first basic is the one everyone asks about. Where do you shower? Number 2, the $10 gym membership. Walk into any budget gym in America at 6 in the morning and look around the locker room. A few of those men toweling off after a hot shower did not come from a house. The low-cost national gym chains, the ones with $10 monthly memberships and locations in every city, have quietly become the bathhouse of vehicle living. For $10 a month, you get unlimited hot showers, a clean restroom, a place to shave and brush your teeth in a real mirror, and something more valuable than all of it, a legitimate reason to be in that parking lot. A person walking out of a gym with wet hair and a duffel bag is a member, not a vagrant. And if walking into a gym at 65 sounds uncomfortable, understand that at 6 in the morning, the regulars barely look up from their own routines. Nobody looks twice at a gray-haired man with a duffel bag. One man who lived in a Chevy Express for 3 years in Ohio said his gym card was the single best $10 he spent each month because it protected his dignity. He showed up everywhere clean-shaven and showered, and in 3 years, not one person at his church or his part-time job ever guessed where he slept. Clean is cheap if you know where to buy it. Food is where the real money moves, and that brings us to the kitchen. Number 3, the cooler kitchen. Open the side door of a long-term vehicle dweller's van, and you will not find a fancy kitchen build. You will find a plastic bin of canned food, a bag of rice, a single burner butane stove that costs $20, and a hard-sided cooler. That humble setup feeds a grown man for about $140 to $150 a month, and the menu is better than you would guess. Rice and beans with canned chicken, eggs, which hold up for a week or more in a simple cooler, oatmeal, peanut butter, tortillas, canned soup, bananas, potatoes, onions. Nothing in that list needs a refrigerator, which matters, Because a fridge is the single biggest power problem in a van, and the reason people spend thousands on solar. The veterans skip the problem entirely. They shop the same grocery store staples aisle their grandmothers shopped, cook one hot meal a day on the tailgate or a park picnic table, and eat the rest cold. A woman who lived in a minivan outside Kansas City for 2 years put it plainly. She said the stove paid for itself in 4 days, because 4 days of drive-through food costs more than the stove. Remember that line because it comes back in the mistakes section with teeth. But cooking needs water, and water has its own rule. Number 4. A quarter a gallon. New vehicle dwellers buy bottled water by the case and burn $30 or $40 a month without noticing. The experienced ones walk past the bottled water aisle to the machine near the grocery store entrance, the water refill station, where filtered water costs 25 to 50 cents a gallon. They keep 3 or 4 blue 7-gallon jugs in the van, refill them once a week for a couple of dollars, and that covers drinking, cooking, dishes, and washing up. Many city parks, truck stops, and cemeteries have potable spigots as well, and the old-timers know every one of them within 10 miles the way you know the light switches in your own house. Total water budget for a month, often under $8. It is a small rule, but it teaches the big lesson that runs under everything in this life. Almost every need has an expensive version built for convenience and a cheap version built for people paying attention. And no need shows that more brutally than the next one because the next one can kill you. Number 5. Heat comes from physics, not fuel. From October to April, the biggest threat to this entire budget is cold, and the most expensive answer is idling the engine for heat. Run the numbers and idling loses every single time. A cold night of idling burns 2 to 4 gallons of gas. Call it $10, and a stretch of hard winter nights quietly doubles the entire monthly fuel budget, while grinding hours onto the one machine this whole life depends on. And there is a darker cost. Exhaust has a way of finding a path into a cabin, through a rusted floor seam or a tailpipe buried in a snowbank. And carbon monoxide has taken sleeping people who believed they were simply staying warm. So the people who survived years of winters solved heat the way an engineer would. First, insulated window covers, foil-faced foam board wrapped in dark fabric cut to fit each window, about $40 in materials. And they cut heat loss dramatically because glass is where a vehicle bleeds warmth. Second, wool. A wool hat, wool socks, and layers, because the human body puts out heat like a small furnace and only needs that heat kept in. And third, a proper enclosure around the body. Quite a few of them keep an emergency thermal bivvy in the van for the coldest nights, and it belongs in any vehicle you drive through winter, whether you sleep in it or not. There is one called TerraShell, a full-body sleeping bag with a reflective lining that traps most of the heat your own body gives off. And the detail that matters for this video is the price. It costs less than 2 nights of idling, packs down smaller than a soda can, and never asks for fuel again. One small purchase, and the most expensive line in the winter budget simply disappears. If you want one in your glove box, the link is in the description below. Because the veterans will tell you the cold has ended more attempts at this life than any landlord ever did, and the ones still out there beat it for pocket change. Number 6, the parked van principle. Ask a veteran what a van costs to run, and they will tell you the cheapest mile is the one you never drive. Fuel is the most dangerous line in the budget because it hides inside habits. Driving across town for cheaper gas, circling for parking spots, restless evening drives out of boredom. The experienced crowd sets up what one of them called a 5-mile life. The gym, the grocery store, the library, the laundromat, and their rotation of sleeping spots, all inside a tight radius, and the van moves once or twice a day. Short hops. Everything else happens on foot or on a $50 used bicycle pulled from a garage sale. The Tucson welder drove fewer than 200 miles in a typical month, which is why $60 covered his fuel even in a thirsty old Econoline. In his own words, the van became what it really was all along, a small apartment that happened to have wheels. And that mental shift, from driver to resident, is the moment the budget finally stabilizes. But a resident needs to stay connected, and the phone bill is where companies quietly rob people who are not paying attention. Number 7. The $30 communication system. Plenty of Americans hand their phone carrier $90 to $120 a month out of pure habit. The vehicle-dwelling crowd cannot afford habits, so they use the prepaid carriers, the ones that rent space on the exact same cell towers as the big names but charge $15 to $25 a month. Same signal, same coverage map, a fraction of the price. For internet, the answer is the public library, and the older generation of vehicle dwellers speak about libraries the way soldiers speak about a good supply depot. Free Wi-Fi, free heat in January and cool air in July, clean restrooms, outlets to charge every device, and nobody questions a person reading quietly for 3 hours. One man who spent 5 years between a pickup camper and a van said he ran his entire job search, his banking, and his medical paperwork out of public libraries in 3 states and never paid a dime for internet the whole time. Total communication budget, under $30. If your own numbers deserve this kind of attention, hit subscribe. There is a new breakdown like this every week, and the next one might be the one that saves your budget. Now, none of these rules matter if the vehicle itself is the wrong vehicle, and this is where the veterans disagree hardest with the internet. Number 8. Buy old, boring, and common. Spend 10 minutes watching van life videos online and you will see gleaming Mercedes Sprinters with cedar ceilings, worth $80,000 or more. The people actually living on $300 a month drive something else entirely: a 2003 Chevy Express, a 2005 Ford Econoline, a high-mileage Dodge cargo van bought for $3,000 or $4,000 cash from a retiring contractor. Ugly, common, and mechanically simple. And every one of those words saves money. Common means every junkyard in America is full of cheap parts, and every corner mechanic knows the engine by heart. Simple means fewer sensors and computers to fail. Paid in cash means no monthly payment and the cheapest insurance tier on the menu. And ugly means nobody looks twice at it in a parking lot, which, as covered in the stealth camping video on this channel, is worth money in its own way. One former electrician summed up his purchase this way. He said his van was old enough to vote, cost less than a used golf cart, and in 4 years the total repair bill was under $900 because everything on it was designed in an era when a man with hand tools could fix his own vehicle. But even a perfect van cannot receive mail, and without an address, modern life starts locking its doors to you. Number 9. The address problem, solved for pennies. Banks want an address. Vehicle insurance wants an address. Medicare, Social Security, the DMV, all of them want an address, and a person without one starts sliding off the grid whether they want to or not. One man in Nevada learned this the hard way when his bank froze his account over returned mail, and he spent 3 weeks untangling it from a library computer. The vehicle-dwelling world solved this quietly and cheaply. The simplest answer is a trusted family member or friend who lets your mail land at their house, often in exchange for nothing more than shoveling their driveway. Next up the ladder are private mailbox services, which give you a real street address, not a P.O. box for $10 to $15 a month, and they will hold packages and forward mail. And for people passing through, the Postal Service itself offers general delivery, where mail is held at a main post office window for pickup with ID, free of charge.